Hey guys, I am your host Sangram, and you are watching Sangram Gill YouTube channel. Today's video topic is pretty interesting because today we are going to know about some games which are meant high-end but playable on a low-end PC. Before started, please like the video for extreme 9 hours of luck. Don't trust, just like and check it. On number 5 spot we have World War Z. It's third-person shooter video game. The game is a cooperative third-person shooter, in which 4 players fight against massive hordes of zombies. In locations including New York, Jerusalem, Moscow, Tokyo, and Marseille. Players can choose from 6 classes including the Gunslinger, the Hellraiser, who specializes in using explosives, the Fixer, the Medic, the Slasher, who specializes in using melee, and the Exterminator, who specializes in crowd control. New perks and weapons can be unlocked for each of the classes as players progress in the game. The game can support up to 1000 enemies appearing on screen simultaneously, and they can climb onto each other to reach players on a higher level. Players can collect different items in the battlefield, but their locations are procedurally generated. In addition to fighting zombies, players also need to complete different objectives such as escorting survivors. In each location the game features 5 competitive multiplayer modes. The player versus zombie mode pits 2 teams of players against each other while the zombie hordes attack both teams. Other modes include Swarm Deathmatch, Swarm Domination. King of the Hill story is pretty simple. A group of soldiers and a journalist are tasked with rescuing a scientist whom High Command regards as crucial in putting an end to the zombie epidemic. The soldiers manage to rescue the scientist, who reveals to them that he was part of a team developing an experimental orbital cannon that can be used to wipe out large swarms of zombies in a single shot. Soldiers then accompany the doctor to the facility where the weapon can be fired, and manage to protect him long enough to activate the weapon and escape. While flying away from the facility, the group witnesses the devastating firepower of the orbital cannon, which wipes out a large zombie swarm which overrun the facility. So definitely worth a try if you love action adventure open world games. On number 4 spot we have Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is a 2015 first-person shooter video game. The campaign in Black Ops 3 is designed to support 4-player cooperative gameplay, allowing for bigger, more open-level design and less corridor shooting. In addition, the player can customize their character's appearance and clothing. The campaign features its own progression system, featuring unlocked tokens which must be used to acquire different weapons and gears. As they progress through the campaign, the game features a realistic difficulty mode in which players will get defeated if they are hit by just one bullet. Finishing all campaign missions will also unlock Nightmares mode, where players can replay the entire campaign with a new narrative, as well as zombies replacing most of the normal enemies. The multiplayer introduces a new momentum-based movement system which utilizes thruster packs to allow players to perform slow boosts into the air as well as perform while running and sliding, all the while giving players complete gun control. A new gunsmith feature offers aesthetic variations in weapon attachments, allowing various weapon customization combinations. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 takes place in 2065, 40 years after the events of Black Ops 2. In a world facing upheaval from conflicts, climate change and new technologies, a third Cold War is ongoing between 2 global alliances known as Winslow Accord and Common Defense Pact. In response to the drone assaults caused by the Nicaraguan narco-terrorist Raúl Menéndez in 2025, several countries around the world have developed directed energy air defense systems that render conventional air forces virtually useless. So definitely worth a try if you love Call of Duty series. On number 3 spot we have Dying Light. Dying Light is an open-world action adventure first-person shooting survival horror video game played from a first-person perspective. The game is set in an open-world environment called Heron. Initially an area named the Slums can be freely explored. Later adding a second area called Old Town. Players traverse this urban environment which is overrun by vicious zombies. There is an emphasis on parkour mechanics, which allow players to perform actions such as climbing ledges, leaping from edges, sliding, jumping between roofs and zip lining. A grappling hook allows players to climb up buildings and quickly travel between places. As players explore the game's world, they can scavenge supplies and loot which can be used to craft new weapons. The player character can utilize his survivor sense to identify all nearby loot, and use lockpicks to open locked chests. Players can also complete various side missions by accepting tasks issued by the non-playable characters in the game's safe zones. As players explore Heron, they can also pick up various collectibles, such as notes and journals, and listen to voicemail recordings. Dying Light contains a dynamic day-night cycle. During the day, players can set traps, save random survivors, and make their way to airdrops. The infected are slow, apathetic, and easily visible, and they can be easily avoided. Players can use environmental traps such as spikes, electrified fences, and gas tanks to kill the infected, so definitely worth a try if you love open-world action adventure first-person shooting survival horror video games. On number 2 spot we have Titanfall 2. Apex Legends is set in the same universe. Titanfall 2 is a first-person shooter video game, where players can control both the pilot and their titans, mecha-style robots that stand roughly 7 to 10 meters tall. The pilot has a large variety of abilities that enhance their abilities during combat. All pilots have a jump kit which assists with parkour double jumping, and while running, pilots have more specific abilities unique to each class which augments their offensive and defensive ability, such as a grappling hook for enhanced mobility or a holographic visual cloaking device. Pilots use their jump kits to run on walls, movements which can be chained together to travel between locations quickly. The game introduces several new gameplay mechanics. These include a movement system that allows players to slide on the ground, the pulse blade, which is a throwing knife that reveals the location of any nearby enemy, the holo pilot, a holographic pilot that mimics players' action to confuse enemies, and a grappling hook which can be used to slingshot players to it building or reel in an enemy it attaches to. At close range, players can execute their opponents from behind in a short animation with the melee attack. Melee attacks are always instantly fatal should they connect. The multiplayer mode sees the return of Titanfall's Titan meter, which fails slowly when the player is playing the game. It fails faster when the player kills an opponent. The map's objectives such as capturing points in the hardpoint game mode, so definitely worth a try if you love fast-paced FPS games. On number 1 spot we have Rise of Tomb Raider. Rise of the Tomb Raider is a third-person action-adventure game, in which players control Lara Croft, who is on a quest to discover the legendary City of Kites. Combat is a major gameplay mechanic. Lara has a large variety of weapons at her disposal, including assault rifles, shotguns and pistols, some of which have an alternate firing mode. Players may also utilize stealth to progress through portions of the game using bows and arrows to take out enemies, creating distractions to draw enemy attention away from Lara, or hiding in bushes to evade enemies. Lara can use the environment to fight enemies, shooting explosive barrels, tearing down rope-wrapped structures with rope arrows, or ambushing enemies from high ground. She can also use her pickaxe and combat knife to engage in melee combat with enemies. The game has semi-open hubs for players to explore. In the hubs are items for Lara to collect, including crafting materials and survival caches. These items and collectibles such as relics and documents can be revealed to players using Survival Instinct Division mode, which highlights items of interest. Players can discover and explore challenge tombs for new skills and outfits. Lara's outfit, which affects her combat performance, can be changed at base camps, so definitely worth a try if you love action-adventure games. So guys, this is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. And I will see you the next time, okay? With all due respect, love your parents, respect your country, stay home, and stay safe, and most importantly, take care of yourselves. Adios. You.